It's a rich history, incredible architecture, beautiful art everywhere you look, mouth-watering cuisine. I'm Todd Newton. Welcome to the Tattooed Traveler and welcome to Barcelona, Spain. I've been looking forward to this episode. I haven't been to Barcelona since 1997. I am way overdue. And as we stroll around downtown here, let me point out there are no skyscrapers in Barcelona. The city has very strict building height regulations in order to preserve the skyline. I mentioned history, and we're going to get into that pretty deeply throughout this episode, but the origins of Barcelona go back over 2,000 years to Roman times. But the Romans never enjoyed a great cappuccino, like the ones here at Cafés El Magnifico, probably the most talked about cafe in the city right now. Impressive because there are well over 1,000 of them. Major coffee culture. It's located in the popular Elborn neighborhood, and it is today, and always has been, run by the Sands family. They opened it in 1962. Oh, I wish you could smell that. This is definitely where you come for single origin coffees and exceptional blends. Look at that. Artistry. I love it. Magnifico is always perfecto. Great way to start the show. Now, while I'm taking you back in time, let's go back to the 1880s. This is one of Barcelona's most recognized landmarks, Arc de Triomphe. It was constructed in 1888. I love this promenade lined with the palm trees. The Arc served as the main entrance to the Barcelona Universal Exposition, kind of a World's Fair. And unlike many arches, like the one in Paris, for example, that are made of stone or marble, this arc is made from red brick to give it a warm, inviting glow. Now, you can't speak of Barcelona without speaking of the cathedrals, and there is a difference between a cathedral and a basilica that we'll get into a little bit later. This is the Barcelona Cathedral, probably the most famous cathedral in the city. Not to be confused with Sagrada Família, which is a basilica. We'll visit there as well. Occasionally, you will hear the Barcelona Cathedral called the Gothic Cathedral, of course, referring to its style of architecture. It's also known as the Cathedral of the Holy Cross. Construction began in the year 1298, and it took 150 years to complete. Look at the light shining in through those windows. Is that beautiful? The original organ, which is not the one you hear at the moment, but the original was placed into the cathedral here in the 15th century. The Gothic structure remains, as you can see there, but obviously modern components have been added to the organ to accommodate its contemporary use. It's all about the acoustics in here. The architecture enhances the sound of the organ, which it has to do to fill this vast space. Pretty remarkable that the original architects and designers were not only able to take that into consideration, but able to implement it in the early 1300s. This is still very much a functioning cathedral. Services throughout the week and open for tours every day. Admission price is 14 euros for adults, about $15, and you should allow yourself a good 1 hour to really take it all in. And remember, still to come, we will visit Sagrada Família. You're going to love that. My hotel was right in the thick of things, the bustling area known as La Rambla, about a mile and a half stretch of flower stands, cafes, souvenir shops, that kind of thing. But also this market, La Boqueria, which has officially been around since 1826. And no matter what kind of foodie you are, this place is paradise. Look at those chocolate-covered strawberries. Thankfully, La Rambla is foot traffic only, so you can walk those calories off. Here at the very top of Montjuïc Hill, and I do mean high atop Montjuïc Hill with incredible views, is a fortress that has been standing proudly since the middle of the 18th century. Today, not only is it a museum, a fascinating one that you and I are about to enter, but it also serves as the cultural hub for the entire city of Barcelona. I wonder how far off that is, how far our eyes allow us to see. Spectacular views of all of Barcelona, the Mediterranean Sea and surrounding areas. Now, originally, Montjuïc Castle was built in 1640. It was just a simple military fort, but it expanded into a full-fledged military fortress under Spanish rule, complete with the moat there and the drawbridge, all to control the city of Barcelona and its port, which I'm going to make my way over to now. Peek over this wall. Yeah, this castle played a critical role in many historical events like the War of Spanish Succession, 1701 to 1714. The Spanish Civil War lasted from 1936 to 1939, and during that time, the castle here served not only as a prison, but this area was an execution site. Thankfully, the firing squads have been replaced by that cafe over there. The castle became a military museum in 1963 under Franco's dictatorship, but the city took it over in 2007, opening it to the public as a cultural landmark. That lookout tower that you see behind me is the oldest structure here at the fortress. There are documents that date it back to the year 1073. And at the time, it was manned by just one person who stood guard night and day overlooking the harbor. And when he would spot enemy ships approaching, he would warn the military and warn the citizens by day by raising a flag at the top of the mast that still stands, and at night with the use of a beacon. At its height as a military fortress, the castle could house up to 3,000 soldiers. They would sleep in barracks like this, many men to a room on the lower levels of the castle. During periods of peace, the number of soldiers would reduce significantly, sometimes to as few as 300-400. And during its time as a prison, the executions would happen here. Most notable of all of the prison's executions came in 1940. It was the president of Catalonia, and after being arrested by the Gestapo in Nazi-occupied France, he was brought back to Spain and put to death. Now, I hoofed up Montjuïc Hill. I was not going to hoof back down, not after it was recommended that I take the lift. For €10.50, you get this ride, this view. You kidding? The first gondola-style cable car system to go up and down the hill was built in 1929, but back in 2007, they completely refurbished it. All new cars, spacious. Each cabin holds 8 people. I had one all to myself, giving you those panoramic 360-degree views of the city. One of the landmarks you can see clearly from way up there in the sky is the Sagrada Família, the basilica we spoke of earlier. And I thought it would be the perfect next stop on our tour of Barcelona. And we're not alone, because ask anyone around the world what landmark, what monument, what structure they associate with Barcelona. Most would probably say Sagrada Família. It attracts more than 4.5 million visitors annually. All that detail. We could spend all day here and still not see it all. Construction began in 1882 and it is still incomplete. It's expected to be finished in 2026. The genius behind its design is the Spanish architect Antoni Gaudí. He designed many famous buildings around Barcelona, and he took over this project in 1883, devoted the rest of his life to it. A completion date of 2026 would mark the 100th anniversary of Gaudí's death. There's a lot of Christian symbolism here, especially on the exterior. There are 18 towers in total, representing the 12 apostles, 4 evangelists, the Virgin Mary, and of course, Jesus Christ. Now, as we step inside, you will see nature as Gaudí's main inspiration. Look at those columns. You'll see they resemble tree trunks. And at the very top, leaves, everything, including the way the light shines in through those stained glass windows. Very organic. Gaudí was a deeply religious man and believed that the beauty and the harmony in nature were reflections of divine creation. And there is no doubt as I stand here and take this all in that that's what guided his architectural style. In fact, Gaudí once said, "A church is the only thing worth representing the feelings of a people, for religion is the highest thing in people." And Gaudí is buried in the crypt here of Sagrada Família. If you'd like to see this all for yourself, a single self-guided tour costs 26 euros, that's about $30 US, and all construction costs are being covered by private donations and ticket sales. Okay, a big part of the Tattooed Traveler is eating food. And this is one of the hottest restaurants in Barcelona right now. It's a smash burger joint called Fast Eddie's. Tucked away in a small medieval alley, the place only holds about 20 people. Oh yeah, smash those burgers. You know, this style, putting a ball of meat down on the grill and smashing it with a spatula, is really taking off. It keeps the moisture in the meat, so your burger is juicy on the inside, crispy on the outside. Fast Eddie's has been going viral on social media lately, so you can expect a little wait, but it is worth it. I was not the only person in here with my camera rolling. You order at the door and they bring it to you at your table. This single burger and fries cost me 12 euros. That's about 13, 14 bucks US. And look at this. That is a good looking cheeseburger. It's on my top 10 list of favorite burgers for sure, maybe even top 7. When you come by, make sure you look for the Tattooed Traveler sticker there. I think you'll enjoy your burger. Fast Eddie's opens every afternoon at 2 o'clock. Now, I think you and I agree that every good meal deserves a good dessert. In some cases, a great dessert. And we're going to call this our cheat day, okay? Granja Dulcinea, here on what is referred to as Barcelona's Chocolate Street, has been taking cheat days to a whole new level since 1941. That hot chocolate you see there is unlike any you've ever had. It's known for its rich, thick consistency, perfect for dipping churros. That's right. Granja Dulcinea is known the world over for their churros con chocolate. And these are not the type of churros you get at an amusement park. And look at that dollop of whipped cream on there. Freshly fried, lightly sugared, perfect for dipping. This is the traditional Spanish treat that I've been looking forward to. And to be able to enjoy it in this historic setting, I mean, the fireplace, the dark wood furnishings, the waiters in tuxedos. Granja Dulcinea was the perfect way to end this wonderful trip to Barcelona. Well, almost. Over the years here on The Tattooed Traveler, you've been with me as I've been tattooed all over the world, but never in Spain. And that ends tonight. Since I got a stamp in my passport on the way into Spain, seems only right that I get a stamp on my leg on my way out. I love it. Thank you so much for watching. See more great episodes at thetattooedtraveler.com. And until we meet again, a little further down the road, I'm Todd Newton from Barcelona, Spain. Travel safely.